Hello, it's Luke Darksnout here, and in this episode of BackBit Impossible, I'm on to something pretty glorious here. But before I get there, I have to test things out to see if it's even possible. And that's what I do in this episode. So it's another one of those let's run a bunch of experiments things, but I think you'll find it rather interesting. And in doing so, well, I open a can of worms, kinda. And being the curious wolf I am, I had to find out how they got out of the can in the first place, which leads to, fun and discovery and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I think you'll like this episode as much as I did. So let's watch.
Well, I finished what it was doing, but check this out. What a mess. Okay, what's going on here? I thought of something because I want the possibility of using two character sets, even though they're not going to be full character sets with the line in the middle, the common 40 characters for that line. So I have a safe 8 pixels to do the raster split. Anyway, it's going to require extra loading, right? So for fun, this is my rollout test 5, the buffer that works with Impa Final 1.07, the player that works. So why isn't it working? Because it brings in, it queues up the data, it'll get a page ready to execute, it executes that page, and instead of just incrementing Y and going back to execute 225 pages, it executes that page and then executes it again. And then it increments Y and goes on to do 225. So basically, I made it do twice the work it's meant to. You know what I mean? So this is double the workload. And as you can see, it's obviously corrupting badly with the very same reason the confounding thing was a very troublesome problem. Only this is more so, and it's happening constantly because I am simply overwhelming it. Now, I got to do some thinking here because without the doubling up, it's doing 2,000, each buffer fetch, is 2,048 bytes character set, 1,000 bytes video matrix, 512 bytes packed color. So 3,500. This is what happens if you try to get 7,000. It's not going to work. So that tells me this is beyond my upper limit, and that's without any audio. So yeah, no good. If anything requires this, I would have to, which I can do. I could reload this, and instead of a 2-3-2-3-2-3 pattern, 3-3-3-3-3-3, which would simulate 20 frames a second. I don't think it's going to work either. But what I was doing before I doubled this up for fun, I was doing 2-2-2-2-2 for fun, and it was doing it beautifully. And that's 30 frames a second, but there's no audio. So anyway, I'm going to reboot this and see what happens just for fun on a 3-3-3-3-3 on a 20 frames per second possible. And so, yeah, let's check it out. Well, it's easy as that. Are you ready? Oh, looky there, eh? How do we even know this is 20 frames a second? Doesn't even seem any different, does it? I guess, through the magic of editing, ta-da! Here's a split screen. Yeah. See the difference? Okay, well, I'm just saying that because I really don't see the difference from here. But yep, okay. But even though this does work... Oh, wait. Ha! Fuck, am I stupid. I didn't double up the playback. So this is... Yeah, okay. Never mind. I'll be back. What? I can't... Oh, yeah. My NMI is trapped. Are you ready? Okay, here's what I'm doing. 20 frames a second, so it's a 3-3-3-3 pattern on the refresh. It is executing every line on the back bit twice. Are we going to get corruption? I bet you we are. Sure. Too much work. So next step for fun, let's make it a 444 pattern, 15 frames a second, see if we solve the problem. Well, hey, let's do it with you on the phone. Okay. Boop-a-doop. Da-da-da-da. Probably going to edit all this out anyways. There we go. See? It's doing it twice. 15 frames a second with 7,000 bytes per frame. What? I wonder, is there a better reason why this is choking? Because it should be able to handle this. I'll have to dig deeper. Okay, I completely fudged it. We're still doing double executions of every backbit line or of every backbit page, but 6 frames a second. It's now a 10, 10, 10. Come on. What? Okay. This is definitely my fault. I'm screwing up somewhere. I gotta find this out now. I created a mystery for myself. BRB. Now I had a scary thought. What if the Super CPU is affecting things? I already know it's not, even though I haven't tried it. And yeah, this is going to create the same interference. This is the 323232 pattern. I know it is, and now I already understand why before I run it. Yep, okay. You ready for the solution? Well, let's get this sucker going. Oh, crap. Doesn't matter. I just need a place. Okay, here's the thing. Let's say one line on the screen is one line on the back bit, right? So we got store anywhere we want, and then say load A with 6. Store. Load A with 7. Store. Now what we do is let's say store RTS. And then we JSR that page again. Well, duh, you idiot. A was 5 when it began. It changed to 6. It's changed to 7, for example. Now we go in with a value of 7. We're 6. Making things set or 6 again. You see what I mean? It's not designed to do that. Although I can make it semi-do it, wherein save the value before you... Oh, clever. Okay, here's the scoop. Take A, do the JSR, right? Pull A, do the JSR. That will truly give me the effect I want. Oh man, it hurts being this clever. Let's check this out. I'll be back. There we go. Da-da-da, see? Whatever A is, do your thing, bring A back, do it again. This is gonna work. This is the default. We got slow speed, the 232323 pattern, right? It will choke, but how bad? Let's find out. Here we go. What? No way. I am surprised. This is 7,000. If it's true. I can speed this up to a 22222, so it's 30 frames a second. It won't be able to do it. It shouldn't be able to do it. But this is promising. Never mind having to struggle with 2 character sets. Because if it can do 8 and the video matrix 9 and the color ramp 9.5, maybe unless the color ramp changes crazy, it ain't gonna matter. Let's make it a flat 10. This is 7. If it can do 10,000, I might be able to redo the bitmaps. They'll be crisp. They'll be beautiful. Ooh, good stuff. Okay. Let's speed this up. Okay, 30 frames a second. 7,000 bytes per buffer. Okay, good. At least we're getting some predictable, it is choking. Good. Because otherwise I'm starting to doubt my code again. But that says, even though it did work at a 2323, not with the audio. So at 24 frames, 7,000 bytes was really pushing it. And you sneak in the audio, that is a lot of interrupts. I'm certain it would probably die. But with my character set idea, even though it's not a full 2,000, let's say 2,000, 4,000, Video Matrix 5,000, 5,500, with the packed color, that's very doable. Because this is 7,000, right? Because it's pushing through 450 pages of executed code when it, it doesn't need to do that many. Oh boy. The possibility. I'm starting to learn where the limits are, right? I mean, I could push this a little bit by making the rollout a continuous where it doesn't drop down, but I'm saving like mere cycles off of every page. This way it's more fun. I got more control. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh man, I've got so much to think about. I'm thrilled here. 7,000. Cool.
So that's pretty promising, isn't it? It might be possible to use 2 character sets instead of 1 to represent every frame. That's got to improve the image quality, won't it? Ha! So in the next episode, I take the next step because I want to make this a reality, or at least see how far I can take it before I have to back up. So yeah, well, until next time, I'm Loop Darks now.